Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all my wonderful and juicy and delicious little subscribers out there. And how I love you also, and I hope that you're all super duper well wherever you are in the world, and that life is treating you oh so deliciously, okay? And that everything's wonderful with you, okay, my delicious babies? Now then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to any passers-by. So, much love to you all, my delicious babies, and I hope that you too are having a delicious time wherever you are in the world. So what do we do? 3, 2, 1, beam me up, my juicy little lads, okay? They're still remaining bright, okay? Now then, so I've just uploaded one video, for, my first video of today, to do with chakras and to do with spirit guides, okay? And I was just giving you a little bit of, let's just say a little bit of a background, there we go, on my journey, okay? Everybody's journey is different, but please, for some of you delicious little, wonderful little babies out there, you may very well find it interesting, okay? And for some of you, it may help, my delicious little babies, okay? Now then, if you do happen to enjoy my video today and, you enjoy all my videos, if you could please click on the subscribe for others of you, and you do happen to enjoy my videos, if you please like to click on the like. For others of you, please feel free to comment, and for others of you, if you'd like to share my videos with others, because for some, they may find bits and pieces of what I say interesting. Do you see what I'm saying to you? All would be very welcome, and thank you. Just to let you know again, everybody, the weather in my neck of the woods, there's no wind, so it's still the same at the moment, okay, but it is rather cold, rather chilly, okay, so I'm just letting you know, in my neck of the woods in the old UK, okay. So I just want to do this quick video. Now, I'm not going to stay on this video for very long, yes. This is something, I want to just make it as quick as possible, really, okay? And it is something, I've talked about soulmates, I've talked about twin flames, that was months ago, everybody, yes? So I've talked about all of that, okay? It's just something else was on my mind, there we go, something else was on my mind, and I thought, something, for some of you wonderful and delicious little babies out there, okay? If it is not yourselves, please God, it is not. It may be somebody who you know, okay? So for some, they may get a little bit of, comfort out of, certain things what I say, yes. But I just wanted to do this very quick video, yes, and I want to talk about, because you see, what happens is, I'm not going to say about every man, every male, everybody, okay, but sometimes men can have one view on something, okay, and then women can have another view on something, yes. Now, I'm sure that by now, all of my wonderful and delicious little babies out there, that you do know that, I am a reader and everything else, yes, and that with my time of doing readings, okay, which has been years, that I've met many different, and this is not to hurt, offend or upset anybody or be disrespectful, do you understand what I mean? But I've met many different man and woman, and many different walks of, many different walks of life. I've already spoken to on the old dog and bone, many different man and woman and walks of life, okay? So, and of course, we're always still learning, aren't we? Do you understand what I mean? Because like I said before in my previous videos at times, and I'm going to repeat it again, nobody knows everything, okay? So it's still a learning curve with all of us. Do you understand what I mean? On this earth, okay? There we are. So I want to talk about today, and I do not want to make this uncomfortable, but why men and women cheat, okay? Now, this video, just to let you all know, my delicious little babies, is not going to be for everybody, okay? So for those of you delicious and wonderful little babies out there who are in a loving and beautiful relationship, well, God bless you, and may you continue to be, there we go, in that beautiful relationship, okay? So I'm not talking about yourselves, my delicious little babies. Now, for others of you, because everybody has different situations, whether they are with a boyfriend or girlfriend, or whether they are married and have a husband or wife, okay? Now, I just want to make this very short, okay? Now, the way that I see things, everybody, right? And of course, being as a reader, yes, there are many different reasons why somebody, can cheat, go behind somebody's back, okay? Now, okay, I'm trying my best to put this in such a way, okay? Sometimes, okay, we could have anything from, and again, I'm not here to hurt, offend or upset anybody, okay? I'm just saying about different things over the years, and I just wanted to share some of my thoughts, okay? So I'm not here to hurt, offend, upset anybody, and I've just had to repeat that, everybody. So let's get into this. So sometimes you could have where maybe a man and woman, maybe they get married very young. I mean, in some cases, different religions, different things, yes, because we've got lots of different religions, haven't we? Not being disrespectful. That maybe they were too young. Maybe for some they never had a choice of, really who they wanted to be with, okay? Now, I have known an awful lot of these situations, over the years, okay, everybody, yes? For others, it could simply be, in some cases that when they're young, do you see what I mean, that they're together, do you see what I'm saying to you? So whether they just remain boyfriend or girlfriend or fiancés, yes? Others can be married, get married young. Do you see what I'm saying to you? And then over the years, you have other things that come into things. So, it could be, for some, not all, okay, that, if you've got a young family, because, I mean, as we all very well know, I mean, we think the world of our, sons and daughters and everything like that, yes? But even for the tightest relationship, everybody, yes, and my delicious little babies out there, sometimes it can be a strain, yes, because, I mean, I've said before and I say it again, we do not get a manual when we become, a mummy or a daddy. Do you understand what I mean? We just have to learn as we go along, do you see? And sometimes it can put a bit of a strain, okay, on relationships. I'm not saying for all, but I'm saying for some, okay? So that can pose as a bit of an issue as well in some cases, okay? Now, and the reason why I say that, I just want to add something on here when I say it, yes? Another reason for this is because, obviously if mummy has got to donate a lot of time, do you see what I'm saying? And, okay, my delicious little babies, if mommy's donating a lot of time, because she has to, she's a mother. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? Then sometimes, whether it's, a boyfriend, fiance, husband, okay, sometimes, not meaning this in a nasty way, it can put a strain on a relationship. Do you see what I mean? So maybe the husband or, like I say, fiance or, or boyfriend, maybe they're feeling slightly left out. There we are, shall we say. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, I have known that over the years as well, everybody. They'll froze everybody, okay? I haven't done a thing. I'm just going to carry on going, okay? I'm really sorry about that, everybody. It's just froze. Anyway, so sometimes that can happen as well, yes? So it can put a strain, because what happens is, if you're bringing up a young family, yes, you can get very tired. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? So it's like where you find that time to be together as a couple, okay? And for some couples, God bless them, this can be an issue as well, yes. Do you see? So it means that instead of the couples, yes, talking to one another and communicating with one another, because 9 times out of 10, you always get to one who wants to talk. Yes, you do, right? And then you'll always get the other party where they may not be very good at, there we go, before I even say it, at talking. Do you see what I mean? Because sometimes not everybody wants to be faced with problems in their, there we go, in their relationship. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? So that can then cause, a couple to drift. Okay? So if one party's not feeling, or say they may be feeling, I keep getting, there we go, undervalued, okay? That they're not being appreciated within their relationship. Do you see what I'm saying to you? It then means that, say, if somebody else comes along, their intentions, because I've come across this as well in my life, my delicious little babies out there, their intentions in some cases were never ever to stray or to do anything. Do you see what I'm saying? But if somebody happens to come along, whether it be man or woman, depending, yes, because everybody has different relationships, yes. Some is man and man, some is woman and woman, some is man and woman, yes. So I'm not here to be disrespectful to anybody, yes. But if somebody comes along and pays somebody that bit of there we go, and somebody pays somebody that bit of attention, yes, then this is where it gets a little bit dicey, a little bit icy here. Do you see what I'm saying to everybody? Yes? Because to that man or woman, they're thinking, oh gosh, well, my husband or wife doesn't appreciate me. So, but somebody else, they want to listen to me, they want to have a conversation with me, they do desire me, they do fancy me. Do you see what I'm saying to everybody? Yes? So that's where, in some cases, not all, but where, there we go, before I even say it, where the problems begin. Okay? And again, we always come back to the same thing. It is a lack of communication. One party communicating what their thoughts are, what their feelings are to the other party. So, do you see what I mean? Spirit's well in the room today, my delicious little babies, yes? So that can, cause problems as well, okay? Other times, you could have some couples, maybe they do not have a little family. Maybe they're workaholics. There we are, they're workaholics. So, their sole purpose in life is to work, work, work. Do you see what I'm saying? And I've come across this, everything what I'm saying today, my delicious little baby, sorry, right? There we go, before I even say it, is all different situations that I have listened to everybody, yes. Do you see, over many, many, many years? Do you see what I'm saying to you? Okay? And there's all different situations why this happens, yes? So you could get somebody who's working all the time, and of course, there could be like passing ships. So one's doing a certain amount of hours with one job, their husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend, if fiance's doing, different hours with another job. Do you understand what I mean? Yes? And then it's finding that time to come together as a couple. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? But it does not matter how we dress all of these different situations up, okay? The fact is that once somebody in a relationship is not paying enough attention to, you know, their husband, wife, fiance, do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? This is when things really seriously start to go wrong, yes? For others, okay, now I've known this, and in my recent years, I've known 3 different dear ladies, God bless them, okay, so, you know, 3 different ones, who they're in marriages for, there we go, for over 30 years, okay, and I mean, for that, and I do not mean this in physical, you know, by the way, it's a figure of speech, but that's a bit of a tough pill to swallow. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, and I've seen dear ladies, yes, I have go through this, and that's in recent years, okay? And unfortunately, in these particular cases, it was involving the ka-ching, pound, shilling, pence, dollars and change, yes? So in this particular case of these dear ladies, and anyway, God bless you all, my delicious little babies. You wouldn't know who these dear ladies are, and neither would I tell anybody. But what I'm saying to you is that they're at home, running the home, and 9 times out of 10, they're like the bairns have grown up, you know, so they've flown the nest. Do you understand what I mean? Yes, they've gone into relationships, you know, and they're working away or whatever they're doing, yes. And this as well can be another issue, you know, because, well, let me just get to the point. So what I'm saying to you is, everybody, my delicious little babies, yes, so you've got, you know, the wife at home or whatever the situation is, yes, and she's still running the home, you know, cooking, cleaning, ironing and washing, but they seem to have lost their way as a couple. And of course, as anybody knows who's been in a relationship, if you've been with somebody for so long, yes, it's, you know, sometimes, how can I put this? I'm trying to find the best way to put it. It's like, instead of trying to find time together to keep it alive in some way, yes, that means making time for one another, that sort of goes out the window. Yes, that's just a figure of speech. Yes, it goes out the window. And then, of course, then in these particular dear ladies' lives, yes, right, and I've seen them go through from the start to the finish of this, okay, and it's not very nice, really. Do you understand? Well, it isn't very nice. And where, do you understand what I mean? Where then the accusations start flying. Well, where have you been? What time? Do you understand what I mean? Or strolling in all hours of the morning or whatever they do. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? Then probably hearing things through the grapevine of this, that and the other. Do you see what I'm saying to you? When again, we get back to the same thing, and 9 times out of 10, these dear ladies, especially the 3 who I'm talking about, yes, they still had a love for their husbands. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies out there? Yes? But somewhere along the line, and especially if the ka-ching's involved here, do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? If, say, a husband is not feeling that same way, or is trying to get his wife to feel that way, yes, well, his wife would only feel that way. And I've spoken to dear ladies, not only those recent dear ladies, everybody, but other face-to-face over the years, and on the old dog and bone. So, do you see what I mean? I've spoken to many. So I'm not sitting here talking to you and just making things up. I'm going along, sorry, because I'm not. Okay? Well, if the dear wives feel that the husbands are playing away, well, that love, they would still have a love for their husbands, because obviously they've got the bairns with them, and in these particular cases they have, okay, you know, even though they're grown up. But the feelings are just not the same. Do you see what I mean? Because if somebody feels that they're being betrayed in some way or lied to, do you see what's up? There we go. So what happens is, bit by bit, it's like a chisel, isn't it? It's like an ice sculpture, and bit by bit, if somebody just keeps chiseling away, eventually there's not going to be anything left. So that, you know, the trust goes out the window, again, just a figure of speech, yes? So the trust goes out the window. Any communication between the couple goes out of the window. And then the only common ground that they have would be the home that they're living in. And, you know, for the ones who I've spoken to, you know, where they've got sons and daughters. Do you see what I'm saying to you? So that seems to be only sort of lines, there we go, of, you know, communication. Do you see what I mean? So this is where the couples become lost. So I hope that I haven't said anything to confuse anybody today. What I'm getting across to you all, my delicious little babies, there can be many different reasons why somebody cheats. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? I mean, I spoke to others over the years. I mean, I must be honest. I mean, I always believe in live and let live. Yes? They must just get on with whatever else they're doing. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? But where you do talk to a husband or a wife, yes, and they still say, but I still love my boyfriend or girlfriend, I still love my husband or wife or fiance. Did you see what I mean? So I still love her or he. But my only thing in this, you know, I'm just giving my thoughts, everybody. I'm not telling anybody how anybody must live their lives. No, I am not. But to me, once that comes in, everybody, yes, because you got to remember that when a couple's together, yes, when they start out, well, 9 times out of 10 anyway, the chain, well, it's a chain, isn't it? So it's solid, yes. So at that point, it's unbreakable. But once the breakdown of communication comes in, everybody, there we go, my delicious little babies, once that comes into the mix, yes, and you're feeling that you cannot talk to one another anymore the way that maybe at one time you could have spoken to each other at one time, yes, then when somebody else comes into the mix, yes, what then happens is that the chain that the couple who I'm talking about, you know, could be anybody, once had, has then been broken, even if it means that you kiss somebody else. Do you see what I mean? I mean, I'm not talking anybody about, you know, if you give somebody a hug and a kiss on the cheek, you know, say hello, you know, could be a mate or a friend. I do not mean that. I'm talking about if you're physically attracted to somebody else. So even to give a kiss, well, really, that sort of crosses the line, doesn't it? Do you see what I mean? Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, because 9 times out of 10, as we all very well know, it's not just like a peck. Do you see what I'm saying? We're all, you know, wonderful adults here. It's, you know, it's not usually sorry, just that. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? And then, of course, it goes further, doesn't it? And, of course, another thing is as well, before I end my video today, my delicious little babies, is that, you see, affairs, as for most of us, delicious little babies, have always known, is that when it's kept under wraps and that nobody knows about it, it seems to be more exciting. So it seems to be more exciting for whatever parties are involved there. Do you see what I'm saying to you? But once it comes out into the open, my delicious little babies, yes, well, that's where you've got that old-fashioned saying, when the fun stops, stop. Do you see what I'm saying? Because if you've got other husbands and wives who are involved in all of this, then it can get very messy indeed. There we go. It can get very messy. Do you see? So I just want to sort of say what I've got to say. Now, like I said, I've always said this over the years, yes? So let's just have a sip of my coffee, please, and thank you. I've always said over the years, if and I've always tried my best to advise as well. Yes, I have. Right? To try and find a way forward for the couples. Yes. Okay. That if it starts to get like that, then please, 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 and thank you, find that way to talk to one another. Because 9 times out of 10, if you go down that road, okay, and I've spoken to many, and like I say, I'm not talking about anybody, I'm not saying what's right, what's wrong, no, I am not. But 9 times out of 10, even if the couple who are having the affair got together, there isn't many relationships, there we go, before I even say it, that last. Do you see? And we also have to look at another part of this, everybody, my delicious little babies. That even if the couple got together and everything, who is to say that that man or woman would not go and cheat, they would go again? Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? So one has to also take that into account as well. There we go. Do you see? So there's lots of different things, and then in the end it could break up families when at the end of the day it just didn't need to be that way. And then of course, very lastly, like I've known couples over the years as well where, you know, whoever it is that they marry, okay, maybe that man or woman was never, from the offset, was never very good at communicating. Maybe they closed themselves off. Maybe it could have been their upbringing. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? Yes, so maybe they are not, you know, very good at expressing emotions or hugging, or do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? So there's lots of different reasons why. And then you can get finally, sorry, it's just whatever else just keeps coming to me old noddle. And then you can get a couple where when they first meet, you know, it's all lust, you know, because as I've always said, regardless, and I stand by everything I say now, okay, it starts off as lust, because there has to be a chemistry there, then trust, because you have to be able to trust who you're with, and then it becomes love. That's the only way it can work. There we go. That's the only way it can work, because without any trust, there is no love. Do you see what I mean? And what one must always remember is that, you know, temptations can be put in somebody's path all of the time. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, but it's whether or not somebody wants to take a bite of the cherry, as the old-fashioned saying goes. Do you see what I'm saying, my delicious babies? But then you can get a couple where they genuinely fall in love with one another, okay? And we have the odd couples in the world, God bless them, you know, and may they continue to be blessed with lots of love and happiness, yes? But then you can get, you know, where you get a couple together and that, you know, and they've genuinely fallen in love with one another, but then over a time, whatever goes wrong, which again, it's a breakdown in communication. 9 times out of 10, it's a breakdown in communication, or maybe where, you know, it could be their lifestyles, whatever's going on. Do you see what I mean? They're just not making that time for one another. Do you see what I mean? Or it could be anything. Do you know what I mean? Going out for a meal or eating in, or, you know, making an effort, dressing up for whoever they're with. Do you see what I mean? It's like, so they sort of, you know, which I've heard this over the decades, where they say, well, oh, my husband wasn't like that when we first met, or my wife wasn't like that when we first met. Do you see what I mean? Because they used to make an effort for one another. So the point to all my video was, without boring you all, my delicious little babies, there are lots of different reasons why man and woman do what they do, okay? But what the general idea is that if something, and, you know, and say a situation does not work out, well, it's a case of learning from that experience, yes, and then hopefully not making that same mistake again. Because, do you see what I mean? At first we could say it's a learning curve, but if they continue to make it, it then becomes a mistake, doesn't it? Does it not? Yes, it does. Do you see what I mean? So this is what I get back to again, and I've done other videos over the months, where it's so important that when you're getting to know somebody, do you see what I'm saying to you? No matter who you are on this planet, and I do not mean that disrespectfully, that one must not just look at the outside. You have to look at the inside. Do you see what I'm saying to everybody? Yes. And I've even known a few relationships over the years where, do you see what I mean? You would never think in a million years, and again, this is not being disrespectful, you think, gosh, well, how did that couple get together? But they're so super duper happy with each other. Do you see what I'm saying to you? But it's because they've got the right balance, everybody. It's like that. It's balancing. But you cannot just go out and meet somebody and just, just look at the lust alone. Do you see what I mean? There's a lot more layers. It's like, you imagine a piece of chocolate, yes, and it's wrapped in 10 layers. So we could say this about a man or a woman who we meet in our lifetime. Well, you take off one wrapper, then there's another wrapper, you remove that wrapper, then there's another wrapper. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies, yes? So it's more about seeing what you've got in common with somebody in the first place. Yes, it's wonderful to have that chemistry, everybody. I mean, there isn't anybody on this planet, well, nobody who I know anyway, and I do not know many spinsters or anything like that. Do you see what I mean? So for most, at some point, we thought somebody, again, just a figure of speech, everybody, we just sort of flip me, like you got your tongue flipping hanging out. Do you know what I mean? I just say it the way it is, you just think, flip me, they're drop dead gorgeous. They are flipping super duper beautiful, gorgeous and sexy looking. Do you see what I mean? At some point, everybody's been there for most. Do you see what I mean? And they're just like, oh, do you know what I mean? It's like you have one of these hot flush moments. So most of us at some point have experienced something like that, and that's all juicy and wonderful and delicious, everybody. But we have to look at other things. Do you see what I mean? So that if you go into a relationship with somebody, no matter who we are on the planet, yes, that you have other things in common, so that it means that whatever relationship you go into, that the two of you are flipping bang, bang, bang solid. Do you see what I mean? And nothing can break it. And again, it's about being on the same level, even spiritually, understanding one another spiritually. Do you see? Sharing emotions. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, not just one giving and the other one taking, because again, I've seen a lot of that in my decade. Yes, I have, and that doesn't work, everybody. So I can only hope. I mean, all I've done today is explain, yes, and different that I've met over the years and who I've spoken to over the years. And basically just to say to you that if you know anybody who's going through this, yes, try and ask them to go back to the beginning. I know it really sounds really corny what I'm saying to you, everybody, my delicious little babies, but if one can sort of backtrack, yes, back to the beginning, what they first thought was lovely and delicious about that man or woman at the beginning, yes, do you see? And sometimes, because I have given advice on this over the years, yes I have, and sometimes that has worked. Do you see what I mean? But the whole point is so that one does not stray from the other, because if that's the case, my view here is that how can you love somebody and do that? Do you see what I'm saying to you? I'm not knocking, anybody out there who, however your lives rock and roll, my delicious little babies. No, I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just saying that one has to really look at the situation and say, well, in what way do I love my husband or wife, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my fiance? In what way? Because if one has to decide to, look at the old eye candy, do you understand what I mean? It's like going into a candy shop, yes, and then they decide, oh, you know what I mean? Oh, I wouldn't mind. Do you see what I'm saying to you? There's a bit of an issue. There we are. That's all I'm saying to you. Do you see what I'm saying? Then you have to take a real hard look on what the definition of love really means for my delicious little babies out there. So like I say, if it's not yourselves, because there's going to be some in beautiful and delicious relationships, and if you are, please, 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 and thank you, please, I beg you with the Lord of mercy, hold on to that relationship, because it's super duper wonderful and special, okay? And if you're with somebody who you truly love and they truly love you, and spiritually, emotionally, everything, the whole shebang, you've got everything. Well, I tell you what, well, as near as possible, nobody can have absolutely everything. Well, if you do have that, you're so super duper lucky, okay? Never ever let it go. But for others of you out there, if you know somebody who's going through something, or even for my wonderful and delicious little babies out there, you could have experienced this as well. Do you see what I mean? This is where a lot of talking needs to be done. Do you see? Because let's face it, we look at man and woman, yes? So there could be somebody walking down the road and, could be anywhere in the world, could be anywhere. And, it's like healthy, if you, do you know what I mean? If a woman was to say, it's a bit of all right, or, or say, for example, I don't know, the celebrity on the TV or something like that, or, or if the husband says what, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, whatever it is, yes, not meaning that disrespectfully, and, okay, to a degree, that's healthy, yes? Where it gets complicated, everybody, is when things start to get played out for real. Do you see what I mean? So it's not just about, do you see what I mean, just seeing somebody down the road or wherever you are at work or whatever it may be. Do you see what I mean? It's not just about that. Do you see what I mean? If the line's crossed, and that's the truth, if the line's crossed, there needs to be, I would say, a very important discussion to be had between the couple. Do you see what I mean? Because let me tell you, once that road and that line's crossed, it's so difficult to get back. Okay, so I'm just hoping that this video, and I'm sorry it's gone on so long, and thank you for all of my wonderful and delicious little babies, just for even listening to me. So I just wanted to make my point here on different things, but I'm not talking about anybody's lives. How anybody lives is their own lives. It's not for me to say. I was just explaining about different things, yes, and why this situation, has arisen and could arise. Do you see what I mean with some? But if you nip it in the bud and talk, it's all about talking. Do you see what I mean? Then it will not get to that stage, okay? So there's a reason why I've done this today, and I know there is, even if somebody doesn't click on the view, I know that my voice is going to be going out to some. Do you see what I'm saying? And you may very well know somebody, yes, you may very well know somebody that they're going through a bad patch. But as I always believe, 9 times out of 10, it can be repaired with the right, shall we just say, with the right sitting down, the right talking about it, saying what you're happy with, saying what you're not happy with. Do you see what I mean? And like I said, going back to the start, what it was you liked about each other from the beginning. And I have advised over the years, and it has, and I swear down now, everybody, it has worked for some. You see, you just have to go back to where you fell in love. That's. It sounds, the way I put it, like it's simple. Nothing's ever simple, I understand that, but what I'm saying is, if any relationship is worth, I do not mean this in physical terms, by the way, it's figure of speech. If it's worth fighting for, it's worth listening to one another's point of view, okay? So that's the end of my video, my delicious little babies, okay? So I'm not here to hurt, offend, or upset anybody, okay? Or to say what I feel is right or wrong, okay? I just want to give food for thought on each different video that I do. Yes, some may, you know, be interested and some may not. It's just horses for courses, okay? As the old-fashioned saying goes. Now, on that note, have a beautiful morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are in the world, and continue to have a good day, okay? Now, until my next video, much love, God bless, take care, thank you, goodbye.